So Ari came back obviously against Missouri. He had his first catch since the Missouri game last year. Kind of what were the thoughts on the sideline when he got that catch?
Having Arian back, we're excited for him though. He's been having a tough journey here, dealing with injuries, but to be able to get him back has been a major help for our offense, especially what he brings to the table, his speed, and having him out there for his first game, receiving a catch. I mean, it was big time for him. Big time for us in the receiver room as well, because we know how hard he didn't work to get back, and for him to receive his first catch of the season kind of gave him like confidence.
So you guys talked a lot about his speed, him being a speedster, but outside of his speed, what kind of benefit does he bring to this receiver room?
Speed, I mean, he can get past the defense. It's hard to coach what he brings to the table, and like being able to, you know, he's a 1-2 type of guy. What I mean by 1-2 is in releases, like 1-2, get up out of there. Like, it's hard to kind of guard that, especially with what he brings to the table. And with that being said, I'm just excited to have him back, honestly.
Last week you said that Blaylock was ready, no doubt about it, and he was ready. What was the feeling on the sideline after he got those clutch catches after having a long road?
Yeah, we were so excited because I think it was like a third down play. We needed a first down, and he was able to go out there and make a play. And that's what we needed, and it gave our offense confidence, gave us a boost. I can't remember how that drive ended up being, but for him to go out there and keep the drive alive, I mean, it was big time for the whole offense. And like I said in my last interview, that Dom, he was ready for that moment, and he done put in the work in practice, and it showed up in the game.
There's a lot of variety at the wide receiver position when it comes to kind of like size and different skill sets. How do you feel like that contributes to overall success of the group?
Like you said, like all of us, speed, you know, size, height, everything. We all different. Like we all different types of receivers, and we all bring something different to the table. And when that's like that, our OC are able to like work around that and do different stuff within the offense because everyone's have like a different skill set. So with that being said, it just makes us more versatile in our offense.
Bouncing off of that, what do you think you have to offer the best?
What's that?
Bouncing off of his question, what do you think you have to offer the best? What do you specialize in, you think?
My special, I think I'm a bigger guy. I think I'm one of the heaviest in the receiver room, maybe the second, but just me being physical receiver, like they can dependable, accountable for, just go out there ready to make a play. Honestly, I feel like my teammates can depend on me for any situation, and I just love being out there. And whenever my opportunity comes, I just try to make the most of it.
What were some of those conversations in the huddle just on that last drive? You guys knew you needed to get it. What were some of those conversations like?
Like, we were just for each other, for real. Just like the brotherhood that we knew that before going into the game, we knew what type of environment we was about to get into. We knew it was going to be loud. We knew it was going to be a night game. We knew all this going into it, and most people were surprised that it was a close game. But in that locker room, I mean, I was excited that we was the underdogs for a moment in out that game because we was able to find out a lot about us as a team, and we was down. I think it was about 13, 10, some points like that. I mean, it's hard to come back on the road. Most teams would have probably folded, but one thing about it, we showed resiliency and that connection and that brotherhood that we was able to overcome that adversity.
What do you think you did specifically in that comeback, you know, as a leader? What were you saying in the huddle?
I knew, coming out the second half, I mean, if you would just go back and watch the film, I was locked in. I was ready to go. And you can see me on the sideline, hand button guys, like, let's get it going, because I knew how bad I wanted to win that game, and I knew that we was capable of doing it. We were just shooting ourselves in the foot the whole first half. And throughout pretty much the whole game, we were just defeating ourselves. And once I knew that we could be able to lock in, it was just the fact of having to keep guys like locked in, like, cause you know, we come into somebody else's place, all back against the wall. We gotta bring our own energy, bring our own juice and stuff. So at that moment, me being the leader, like being through games that I've experienced coming back from behind, you gotta stay motivated, you gotta stay locked in because things may not be going with, I mean, college football is much different nowadays. People can be losing by 20, 30 points, come back and win the game, so it's always possible, but everybody gotta have that same mindset.
How much different is the message in the locker room when you're down versus when you're up?
It's more motivating, you know, like we need moments like this. I mean, people always say we're the #1 team in the country. We're supposed to be blowing teams out. It's not always the case because at the end of the day, like people, like that G means a lot. And when people have to see that G on that schedule, have to come play, they're gonna put their best foot forward. they gonna try to, embarrass us in a way, you know. And we was getting embarrassed on that last game, but like I said, we overcame that adversity and we got the dub.
Darnell, Coach Chad Campbell at Peach County teach you to become a leader like you are now and raise you how you have become here?
Right. Growing up in high school is very similar to here. Like, it was very cutthroat. You know, you got to be prepared. The best 11 gonna always be out there ready to play. And what I went through in high school, like I said, was very similar to what I'm going through here. So Coach Campbell put me in a position to be prepared for it when I got to college, and it's starting to pay off.
Darnell, I know spoke to the team a little bit at halftime. He was talking to us a little bit ago. Said he had something in his mind he wanted to say before he even went in. Did that surprise you? He spoke up like he did.
Yeah, Darnell. He's starting to step up in that leader role, in that leadership role. And he came out, had one of his best games, I feel like, in his college career, just by opportunity-wise, going up and making catches and stuff like that. But when Darnell was able to speak up, you get many different guys who at one point was not saying afraid to speak up, but they wouldn't speak up. But now they had the role that they can speak up and their voice are being heard. It puts a kind of a positive effect on the team, because most people, they'll look at Darnell, he's big and goofy, but at the same time, Darnell's gonna lock in, you know, and that's my teammate. Yeah, but Darnell, when it comes down to making the play and getting serious, Darnell gonna lock in. And when he came in the locker room, he said some word. Pretty much all of us was in there motivating each other, pushing each other, like, hey, this is how we want it here. We want it to be hard. Nobody likes blowout games. Like, maybe we need to be like the underdog at one point to see how I feel to overcome adversity. And that was a fun game, honestly.
So you talk a lot about how you guys lock in and overcome that adversity, but you also talk about that connection that your receiver room has. Can you talk a bit about how you guys have built that connection with each other, how it allows you to just lock in and flip the switch when you need to, like that?
Yeah, through practice, you know, like the coaches put us through those situations in practice. I don't know if any other school in the country does like how Coach Smart does, but we walk through so many scenarios the week before the game, just the stuff that he put us through, like, it has no choice but to prepare us. And once we get in those moments, it's not like we about to fold, because we already experienced these scenarios in practice. So when that being said, coming from a receiver standpoint, I feel like it's up to us to make plays, and we make plays, we win the game, you know. Sometimes the run game might not be working, but hey, somebody got to lean on another person or that brother next to them that, hey, we got to go make a play. And we was able to make plays in critical situations, just like with Dom on his third down catch. He had and Marcus on his catches. Like, those plays actually counted in the game, and we needed them. So we just able to lean on each other as a brother.
How impressed were you with Malachi Starks, just in terms of his football IQ, picking up the playbook, you know, those kind of, not necessarily his physical traits, but the mental side of things? Right.
When I first noticed Malachi, I want to say he was an early enrollee, but just when he came in, just how the way he approached the situation, like, he was very locked in about learning the detail, because, you know, our defense is very complex, and it's hard for freshmen to come in and just learn the right way and be the immediate starter, but he was able to lock in and just actually learn the system. And he could, like, right now, he's still learning. He's still building, but he's doing it at a faster rate than others around the country. And it's starting to show on Saturdays when he go out there and making plays. Like, he pretty much saved the game for us. That extra effort play going to catch the guy right before he scored, and like plays like that really sticks out to me, because he put himself in a position to help the team win that game. So I'm excited for him.
You've obviously been through a couple of injuries while you've been at Georgia. What kind of a support system is there for guys that are injured? Obviously you're spending a lot of time with the trainers, but who is it that you're relying on in that time?
My brothers, really. My teammates. That's who I spend the most time with. Football, it's a contact sport. Like, you're going to experience injuries. Nobody's going to go into the game feeling 100%. I don't care what position you play or where you at. Something on your body is going to be hurt, but it got to be in your mind that, hey, like, my body good enough to go play. Like, you got to put that behind for the most part. And we got Drew Brandon, who comes to talk to the team. He comes in, like, we meet with him about our mental health issues, because mental health is real. And when we was able to do that, we're able to open up to ourselves and be honest, because most men, of course, especially football players, we don't like to speak up about a lot of things, because we don't want to never feel like a burden to a team, because we got something personal going on. But also, I got to be ready to go play Auburn this week, just for a scenario standpoint. But just being able to like depend on our brothers, just to feel that we're not in this thing alone. It just makes you feel more comfortable about open up about in this situation you may have.
Speaking of this game, Mr. against Auburn, what's the feeling and the atmosphere in the locker room getting ready for Auburn?
I mean, it's same like any other week. It just this week we playing in front of our home crowd, and our last outing in front of our home crowd and the last outing in general was not up to our standards. So we're excited to play Auburn. I know I'm excited to play, and just the fact that it's Auburn, one of the deepest South, oldest rivalry games. I mean, you know it's gonna be a electrifying 3:30 primetime game. I mean, why not be hyped for it? I mean, it's hard not to get hyped up for it. So we're excited to go play them, and it's gonna be a fun game.
2 more questions.
How big was Pod for you guys in that game against Missouri, and just kind of being able to rely on him, even if you guys did, stall in the red zone, you're able to rely on him?
Right, Pod came up so clutch. I mean, with those field goals that he made, I mean, sure, we couldn't score in the red zone, but Pod was able to, give us those points that we needed, and we was able to lean on him much and more each and every week because the more the offense can't score in the red zone, the more Pod got to be golden led for us. So, I mean, but we can't be putting that much pressure on them as an offense because when we're in the red zone, we got to be able to score points. I mean, we haven't been efficient enough in the red area, so with Pod coming in and making those clutch field goals, I mean, it's been great for our team, and we still stand on him each and every day because you know how important he is and what role he's playing.
What do you think y'all can do better in the red zone to not put the pressure on Pod?
Just being locked in to all assignments. I mean, we get to the red zone and just forget what we're supposed to be doing. Not saying that that's the whole thing, but one, it's the best 11 on the field, right? So if one mess up out of that 11, the whole play is ruined. So if we could all just get on the same accord and just be dialed in and execute at a high level, I mean, we should be able to score points in the red area.
All right, thank you, Kearis.
Thank you.